Eyezu.
Eyeza.
Uye Mizu.
Da.
Okay. So I think we're waiting for people to join, and we're going to start shortly. Okay. So I think we've got quite a few people now. We have so Jonathan is also here, so he's going to be the MC as we said.
Jonathan is also here, so
yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fine. So, Mr. Chairman, Christian.
Okay. Hello, hi, nice meeting you all.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Jonathan.
Yes.
How is motherland?
Oh, the motherland is great. You know, of course, the economy is, we are battling with it, but we're hoping that things will turn out well.
Right, that's fine. The more reason we need to reorganize, re-strategize.
Exactly.
For our common goal.
Exactly. I believe we are yet to start.
Yes, we'll wait for Mr. Chairman Abuaji. Maybe if you're ready, you could unmute yourself.
Yes, I am ready, but trying to admit some few people in before. So please, if you are not talking, can you please mute yourself, please? Yep. We have 17 people now. Are we okay to go? Do we have Mbalba around? Is he there?
Yeah, Chairman is here with us. He's here with us. As soon as you kickstart, he will appear on the screen. Yeah, he's here with us.
Okay. As I said, we have 18 people now. Should we start and take it from there? Can you ask him whether we should start?
And please, just to reiterate, if you're not speaking, maybe you mute yourself so that we reduce the echo from the background.
Yeah.
I'm not the best. I'm not the be instant.
bari sallama.
Yezu, I think, Chairman, are you okay for us to start? Okay. Can Thompson take over, please?
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Christian Abwaji, for the opportunity that you've given me. Just like you've already known, my name is Jonathan Thompson. I am a broadcast journalist. I am a senior editor with the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. I'm a radio TV personality, and I am a news anchor on GTV and on radio. Of course, I have done a lot of media work for like more than 15 years. So I've dealt with both sides of the political divide, the NDC and the NPP. And this is the time for the NDC, like I always say, to revamp and, of course, move forward. And I love the work that your flag bearer, Dramani Mahama, is actually doing. And I should say that, of course, I'm in love with all the efforts that is being made to actually make the government in power actually stand firm and do the right thing for Ghana. I'd like to welcome you again to this meeting that we are having right here. It's all about the campaign launch of our man, Chairman Alhaji Mbalba. And Hassan Mbalba, we are trying to make him retain his seat as the chairman of the UK Ireland chapter of the NDC. And I should say that this man actually deserves to be in the seat. We need to retain him because of the many things that he started and the many things that we believe is about to happen in the NDC UK Ireland chapter. And may I actually announce to you all that please, if you are not on the floor, if you are not making any remarks, please mute your
um 1 minute, you are muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's working now.
Okay. Am I on?
Yeah. Yes, you are on. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Now, we, like I said earlier on, we are here to actually see what we can do to retain the man, Chairman Alhaji Mbalba. Now, I'll tell you exactly why you need to retain him.
You are muted again.
Oh,
yeah, you can go now. Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking about the sterling performances that he has actually exhibited during his first tenure in office. And of course, he did. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
It seems it goes on and off. It goes muting on and off, but please pardon me.
Okay.
So, Honorable Alhaji Mbalba. Honorable Alhaji Mbalba actually inherited 6 functional branches with 3 dormant ones, 2 of which have been revamped, and 5 new branches have been added under his tenure. So we have 13 functioning branches at the moment. Of course, he was interviewed on one station by a man known as Mansa Musa. And of course, he actually reiterated this thing that he has expanded the functioning branches of the chapter. And of course, we are witnesses of all of that. Now you have 13 branches under his wing. And you think he couldn't actually run all these chapters, or he couldn't actually manage all these chapters are the chairman. Well, he was able to do that. He's been able to do that. That is a track record that we need to actually continue, or let him actually continue. We also have, under his tenure as the UK Ireland chapter chairman, he actually set up the Chairman Disciplinary Committee. This is the first time it has ever been done. And also, under his tenure, for the first time again, there was an auditing committee set up to audit all the functioning finances of the branches. And this is the first time we are having this in the UK Ireland chapter. What does that tell you? That tells you that this is a man who is committed to accountability and transparency. And so you need to vote for him. You need to retain him as the chairman. We're talking about epoch-making achievements, something that has never been done in the UK Ireland chapter. Now, some proposals collected by the Chapter Research Committee in 2020 was included in the NDC election manifesto. Wow, that is very great. Now, he actually brought up a lot of minds together, brainstormed, and then they came out with ideas that were inculcated into the national manifesto for the NDC. Isn't that something that is great? Isn't that something that we need to actually let him continue? Now, we're talking about a man who is approachable. We're talking about a man who is interactive. We're talking about a man who actually knows the tenets of democracy and inclusiveness of everybody. And because of this, we need to retain him as the chairman. Also, in the 2020 electioneering campaign, the chapter fundraising committee, under his tenure or under his guidance, actually raised the highest amount of money to contribute to the campaign. I mean, it's not just somebody who actually knows how to enhance probity and accountability, but then somebody who can actually make money also to run the party. And we need to retain him as the man. Like I said, this is a man who is friendly and approachable. Now, you can come with him, you can come to him with your ideas, and he will definitely run through. I'm not going to say much about him, but I believe that the little that I've said so far should actually set the precedence for us to maintain or retain him as the chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow participants, fellow UK Ireland participants or members, I should tell you that retaining Chairman Alhaji Mbalba is the best decision you've ever made in the UK Ireland chapter of the NDC. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand you over to Mr. Christian Abuaji to continue with the program.
Thank you very much, Jonathan Tete Thompson of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC. Thank you. Eyezu.
Eza.
Oye Mizu. Thank you very much. So this lunch is going to be segregated into 4 parts. First, we will do introduction of the campaign members, which will encapsulate names of the campaign team members and the profile of Chairman Alhaji Mbalba, followed by speech by himself, Chairman Mbalba, and then we move on to questions and answers session. And last but not the least will be remarks, closing remarks. I support a dynamic and competent leader, and as such, I am happy to be part of the winning team, retain Chairman Mbalba. What I ask most of the time is, do we want someone who build castle in the air? I suppose not. As a campaign team, we have myself, Christian Abuaji, the campaign manager, David Kofi Dazi as the deputy campaign manager. Are you here, David?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Thank you. We have Miss Adelaide Menu, campaign advisor. Adelaide, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Ezu.
Yes, thank you. We have Rebecca Kofi as a campaign advisor. Is Rebecca here with us? Okay, that's fine. David Owusu, campaign team manager. Is David also here? Owusu. And Hajia Muna Al Hassan as also campaign team manager. As I have mentioned already, I am very proud to be part of this team to campaign to retain Chairman Mbalba. He has done excellently well, and I plead with votes for him to continue this good work. Chairman Mbalba has been able to create new branches, that is Republic of Ireland branch, Glasgow branch, East London branch, Telford branch, and most importantly, he's been able to revamp some branches, which involves or includes the Manchester branch, Liverpool, and there is also work in progress to revamp Luton branch as well. So well done, Chairman. He's also looking at up and coming branches, which includes West London, Bradford, Guildford and Hampshire and Surrey, Leeds, Swindon, Colchester, Peterborough, Nottingham, Leicester, Brighton, Bristol, Bath and Bournemouth, North Wales, and more. So, comrades, it is important, very, very important and strategic for the NDC that comrades vote to retain Alhaji Mbalba to continue this growth of our chapter in readiness for Europa. At this point, I want us to play NDC anthem or jingle a bit. Are you there, Musa, to play that short one? Okay, let's move on. I want to invite Comrade Ibrahim Musa to tell us a bit about who Chairman Alhaji Mbalba is. Over to you, Comrade Ibrahim Musa.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you all hear me loud and clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So it's just a very brief biography of our Honorable Chairman, Mr. Alhaji Mbalba, who took on the reins of steering the affairs of NDC UK and Ireland chapter from 2018 up to date, which has recorded a very remarkable achievement so far, and the more reason why we need to strive and work much more harder in order to retain him. Alhaji Mbalba, he's a professional social worker. So I'll just start with his professional career, which started as a social worker, currently at a team manager level within the social work sector. We then go to his educational career, which began from the University of Ghana, Legon. Alhaji Mbalba currently has MSc Advanced Social Work, Leadership and Management from the University of Westminster. And that was after his BA Home Studies degree for social work, political science, and sociology at the University of Ghana, Legon. Alhaji Mbalba also currently holds LLB law degree from the University of London and currently studying for professional law qualification, SQE, as is termed in the UK. So politically, he is the incumbent, as I've mentioned at the start of my comments. He's been the former Deputy Chapter Secretary, NDC UK and Ireland Chapter. He is a member of Commonwealth teen rep. He was a member of Commonwealth, and then he was the teen rep for Commonwealth at the University of Ghana. So as you could all see from this very brief but very much embedded biography of his political career, which did not start from the UK, which started way back from Legon and then way up in the northern part of Ghana, where NDC was not just mentioned at all within any of the communities. But Alhaji Mbalba was one of the pioneers who boldly made inroads in expanding and then exposing NDC to the grassroots. So it was not surprising at all that even when he found himself in the United Kingdom, he never backed, he never relented. So he took that effort forward. So it is very remarkable. It is his achievement, efforts, and commitment to the cause of NDC is an open secret. Everyone who is close or afar or not that close from him is much more aware of his achievement. So, Mr. Chairman, I wouldn't speak too much. I know when it gets to his turn, the candidate will make his position much more clearer to all the delegates. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Musa, Comrade Musa. Thank you. At this point, I'll urge us all to unmute ourselves because we're coming to do something interesting. We're going to bring the spirits up. Can I call on Dr. Ensign Christopher Akwe to help us with some NDC song before we bring in our chairman? Are you there? Christopher, we can't hear you. Christopher, okay. I think we're going to skip that and move on to the next item. So, with much love and support, I invite Chairman Hassan Mbalba to give us a speech. Over to you, Chairman. You are on mute.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Ayezu.
Ayeza.
Za. Meow.
Meow.
Comrades within the UK and Ireland chapter and comrades across the globe, invited guests, members of the campaign team. I'm very delighted to be with you this evening for this noble cause. For me, NDC or politics is a moral obligation, especially where we have found ourselves as a country today. So I'd like to welcome you to the official launch of my campaign in my bid to get re-elected so that we can continue working together in the best interest of our chapter, our party, and Mother Ghana. And I would like to thank my brother Jonathan from GBC, Comrade Musa Ibrahim, for the compliment they have given to me this evening. It's not due to my strength or my knowledge. I attribute that to my fellow executives, which we have contributed collectively in the last 4 years to achieve this unprecedented achievement. My simple, I'm your humble servant. I came into office in 2018. And as you all know, due to COVID, things were being slowed down. But despite the lockdown, we have managed to achieve lots in the history of this chapter, which some of these achievements have been mentioned by the previous speakers. So I'm not going to belabor too much on that. I would rather urge you to retain me come 14th January 2023 so that I'll continue to expand the frontiers of the chapter in the UK. Why am I saying this? the politics of NDC in the diaspora or Ghanaian political parties in the diaspora is changing. Gone are those days when we used to just meet as a social club. We are talking about RUPA. And if you are talking about competitive politics, partisan politics, you need somebody who has a track record of mobilizing people to achieve the aim of the party. What is the point when you have a chapter in the UK and RUPA is coming and we are not able to mobilize people to come out and vote for our candidates, especially the presidential candidate? And so far in the history of this chapter, this current administration has proven that we have mobilized than any other administration in the history of our chapter. I'm delighted to inform you that all things being equal, we are going to have the highest turnout in our chapter election come 14 January 2023. We are looking at a figure of over 600. It has never happened. So when we say we are expanding, the evidence is there for everyone to see. And that shows in the turnout. The voter, those who are eligible, that's even the provisional register. It may even go higher, depending on how things span out. So for me, it's not about utopian politics or promising what I can't deliver. I've delivered it and people have seen it. Just retain me and I'll continue to do that. When it comes to the issue of accountability, I have the track record. I'm the first chairman and the administration to set up a disciplinary committee to appoint an internal auditor. In NDC constitution, every wing of the party is supposed to have an internal auditor to audit our accounts. It has never happened in this administration or this chapter. I have managed to set up, appoint internal auditor. When it comes to maintaining peace and tranquility within the chapter, of course, in a group, there is always tension. So the premise of the NDC constitution made it a point that any administration that comes into office, within 4 weeks, you have to appoint a disciplinary committee. And this current administration will achieve that feat by appointing a disciplinary committee under our able leadership of Dr. Lawrence Akoche, just to maintain peace and unity within the chapter. When it comes to our contribution to the political discourse in Ghana, Google, simple, go search on Google, you'll see the number of articles, publications coming from this chapter in our bid to contribute to the political discourse in Mother Ghana. When it comes to helping with the campaign in 2020, the evidence is there. A finance fundraising committee was set up by this administration, and we are able to raise a very substantial amount to aid the campaign. But as we all know, political party finances in our part of the world is not for public consumption, so I can't mention the figures. We are not just here looking for money. Most of us are professionals, and we have quite a lot of experience in our area of work. So in 2020, what we did, experts and professionals within the chapter were brought together, and we collated views and proposals, which was forwarded to ACCRA, and luckily and interestingly, some of our proposals found their way into the People's Manifesto. So we'll continue to do that. In terms of reaching out to Ghanaians communities, I was the first chairman to take the immediate past chairman and his delegation to meet the Muslim community in 7 Sisters. Why did I do that? Because there was a propaganda that NDC as a political party is trying to abandon their core supporters. And I've attended Christian events. I have attended Christian events to motivate people from the Christian community. What people don't know, I've worked with some of our members who are pastors in this country, and they have recruited significant number of their congregation who are sympathetic to NDC cause to join the party. So if I'm retained today, comrade, I'll continue to reach out to Ghanaian communities through outreach program to Ghanaian mosques, Ghanaian churches, attend Ghanaian events such as Ghana Party in the Park, Miss Ghana UK, name them with in the efforts of recruiting Ghanaians and convincing them to join NDC. So I've done it before, and you are witnessing it. I'm not saying those vying to contest have no ideas, but ours is evidence-based. It's not promising when you don't even know how you are going to deliver it. We have delivered as a team, and I'm begging and pleading of you for you to retain me so that I'll continue to achieve. In terms of making our chapter attractive, our sister chapters will testify. I have cordial relationship with all the diaspora chapters, especially Germany, US, Canada, Australia, name them. Some of them have even joined. If time permits, they may say one or few things just to testify what I have done behind the scene to help some of these chapters to also reach. Let's promote healthy competition among diaspora chapters. So it's not the matter of going to Accra to speak at national congresses when other chapters are not finding their feet. Because if Europa is going to be implemented, it's not only UK that will be voting, all other chapters will be mobilizing. So that is what I will be doing if I'm elected. So in terms of going forward, UK is growing as a chapter, we are growing. So if I'm retained, I'm going to make sure that the chapter will be grouped into zones. We have the northern zone, which the hub will be in Manchester. The middle belt, that's Midlands, if we may call it that way, that's around Birmingham. And then the southern part. If you take northeast, that's around Bristol, Bath, we'll try to do it. And for the first time in the history of our chapter, we have managed to give full meaning to our name. Why am I saying that? We have created a branch in Republic of Ireland and then a branch in Glasgow. There are plans in place to make sure that the Liverpool branch, which is closer to North Wales, will mobilize people from North Wales. So retain me and we'll have a full UK and Ireland chapter. What I meant by that, there will be branches in all the countries within the United Kingdom. And then there will be branch in Republic of Ireland. Now, democratically, why do you have all these branches or branches in the other countries and they are not represented? So if I'm retained today, I'll try to pick up the chapter leadership. Chapter leadership in the sense that there should be a provision where we can co-opt, as let's say the chairman of Scotland, the chairman of Republic of Ireland, the chairman in Wales, so that they will be part of the chapter leadership. In the past, we used to have 2 deputies for certain positions, like the youth, like the women's organizer, and maybe the secretary. It has been reduced to only 1 deputy. With our efforts to expand, I will make sure I work with ACCRA to make sure that the executive committee members will be increased. We can't do elections because there's no by-election in NDC. So if there's any vacancy or you want to fill any vacancy or expand it, you can only do that by co-option or appointment. So under my leadership, I'll continue to work with ACCRA to make sure that we have fit for purpose chapter so that together we can collectively and work to achieve the ultimate aim of the chapter and NDC as a party. And then we can continue to contribute meaningfully to the political fortunes of our party in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, I want this session to be very interactive and engaging. So I'm not going to do all the talking. So I will pause here. And when we come to the question and answer section, I will try and share light on some of the questions that members will be throwing to me. Once again, thank you, and you are welcome to this official launch of my campaign this evening. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
so
much, Chairman Mbalba. Thank you. That was very powerful, and we've heard it all. Vote to retain him if you want us to move on, to grow as a UK Ireland branch. Do we have Christopher Akwe there to take us through?
Yes, I'm here. Ezu,
Yes,
please unmute yourself. You need to sing one of the 2 NDC songs.
Yes.
The victory of NDC is coming again.
Again.
And the people say Jobodo. The victory of the NDC is coming again. And the people say, Jobodo. Say, Jobodo. Say, Jobodo.
Jobodo.
And the people say, this particular song I want to teach all of you. I think most of you know how to sing it already. It's Emra Yeti Asiyi Asiyi Yentu Yaba Mapwa Ezu. If you want to retain our current chairman, we should be more aggressive, please. So 1, 2, go. It's very simple. Emra Yeti Asiyi Asiyi Yentu Yaba Mapwa. So that is the first side. It's very simple. So please, let's take the song to our various branches. Our 13 branches. We take them along. So I'll give you the second part, and that is all. So 1, 2, go. Emra Yeti Asiyi Asiyi Yentu Yenaba Mapwa Kube Yedia Akuko Yenam Osono so Yabwa Yentu Yenaba Mapwa. So it's very simple. We all sing it together once and we are done because of our time. So Emra Yeti Asiyi Asiyi Yentu Yenaba Mapwa Kube Yediago Kube Yedia Akuko Yenam Osono Yabwa Yentu Yenaba Mapwa boy. Oh boy. Arise for Ghana, ye patriots of the land. Oh, towards and seek your future. Development and hope. From victory go, from victory unto and is the it is democratic Ghana, our strength in unity. Let's go from victory and the NDC Charlie democratic Ghana, our strength in unity. Chairman Maba has my vote. Christopher, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much, Christopher Akwe, aka Dr. Entime. I think this is very, very powerful. So now, Chairman Hassan Mbalba will take questions from comrades. So please do raise your hand and I will mention your name to speak, please. We have Tabi Wilberforce. Could you please unmute yourself and speak?
Yes. Thank you very much, host. All protocol duly observed. My question is very straightforward, and it has to do with the fact that the chapter election couldn't go according to plan as scheduled. And I think if there is any setback that is associated to this current administration, it is due to the failure of the election not taking place as it was communicated earlier. So what I want to ask Chairman is, would he take sole responsibility for the inability for the election not being conducted as scheduled, or he would rather purge himself and see it as a systemic failure where everybody must own up for the election not being held? And the second one is about ROPA. Yes.
Can we take one question at a time so that he will answer?
Okay, very well. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tabi Wilberforce. Yes, it was unfortunate that we couldn't hold our chapter election prior to the National Delegate Congress. And that denied us the right to go and represent and participate in the Congress. Because if you don't organize your elections before the Congress, you can only attend as an observer. Yes, as a leader or the chairman of the chapter, I would take the elephant share of the blame. But if you look at the issues preceding, how collectively we are responsible for the failure. The directive for diaspora elections were sent to us. The same directive was sent to Germany and US. They hit the ground running with that directives. We in the UK, especially the executives, because ordinary members were not part of it, we said we're not going to work with such directives. We made challenges, we raised issues. Honorable Alexege Fevin joined us in the meeting and explained, start working with this directive. We'll make whatever amendment you people are asking. It's just minor amendments. We refuse. Whilst we're doing all this, and I, as a chairman, couldn't have pushed it through and say, let's do it, because the executive kicked against it. So my hands were tied. And then came the request to decentralize the voting. And at that point, ACCRA said, you have a good idea, but there was no time to decentralize it this time around. And members said, look, if it is about the timing, the branches, we are prepared to even postpone it so that we can have our election decentralized. And as we all know, there was petition that was sent to ACCRA. And at that point, I couldn't stand in the way of the membership if they were asking. So we wasted another 1 or 2 weeks asking for ACCRA to allow it to decentralize. They came back and said, no, you can't decentralize it. So we have to go back to the drawing board. Election is a process, it's not an event. We're meant to appoint committees, vetting committee, election committee, and appeals committee as committees responsible for the conduct. And as a leader with a vision, I was proactive by asking my colleagues, let's get these committees ready so that as soon as we receive the directive, we'll put them to work and then we can have our election on time. We appointed these committees, especially the election committee, and then all of a sudden, when the directive finally arrived, there was a clause there that said, oh, upon the receipt of the directive, you appoint these committees. And because of that, as executive, which we are collectively responsible, we voted to say, look, because we set up the committees before the receipt of the directive, we have to go back to the drawing board. Again, I reluctantly agree. And that is where I'm blaming myself. If I had known, I would have said, no, we're only being proactive. Let's make a special appeal to ACCRA. They should allow those committees to continue. But we dissolved the first committee and went back to the drawing board. And all this time was not on our side. That was why we couldn't conduct our election. So it's a collective decision, but as a leader, I've learned a lot from that issue. And if I'm retained, I will make sure that we'll do this thing differently next time. And you know why? We don't have standing directive for our elections. Every 4 years, we kept receiving different set of directives. And that is where the problem is coming from. So going forward, if I'm retained today, I'm not going to wait till the last 2 years for me to start asking for directive for our election. We'll meet as a team, as a group, and put proposal to ACCRA and say, this is how we want our election to be conducted, be it decentralized or the eligibility criteria, so that will be approved in advance. So when it comes to our chapter election, we won't be sitting down saying we are waiting for a directive from ACCRA. There may be some small changes depending on the circumstances at that time. So I take responsibility for it, but we are collectively responsible. But I'm taking the elephant share for our failure to conduct the election.
Thank you very, very much, Chairman Mbalba. Indeed, you are a proactive leader who does constructive challenges. Thank you. I'll just remind people that we are live on Facebook and YouTube as well. And there are some questions which are also coming from that end. Can I now ask Jonathan Thompson to ask the next question, please?
Okay, thank you very much, Christian. And Chairman Mbalba, I'd like to say congratulations for the good work you've been doing. Well done. And we believe that you will be retained and to continue the good work. Now, it's quite interesting that you mention Mr. Alex Segbefie's name. I interviewed him quite recently, you know, following the Youth and Women's Executives Delegates Conference that was held in Cape Coast here in Ghana. And, you know, there were some skirmishes that arose, and, you know, there was a little bit of scuffle that went on, and some people got hurt, you know, literally got injured and were carried to the hospital, as a matter of fact. And of course, when I interviewed him, I actually asked him questions about what really happened and how they are handling it. And of course, he condemned it on all uncertain grounds that the NDC is not for war, it's for peace, and there should be peace in the party. Now, for those of you in the UK and in the island, those of you in the diaspora right now, I'm asking this question that when it comes to matters of this nature in the motherland, where the party might seem like, please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, where the party might seem like there's a divided front, because after the elections or after the conference in Cape Coast, when Pablo won and Hannah Bissell also maintained her seat, later on Pablo was interviewed on air, and he went casting aspersions on Sami Jemfi. I think he had a little bit of there was a little bit of grudge between him and Sami Jemfi and all of that. And this actually paints a bad picture of the party. Now, those of you out there, what are you doing? Or if you are maintaining the seat, what are you going to do? Oh, damn it.
Hello, Jonathan?
Yes, I think his question is clear. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Honestly, those images from Cape Coast were very unfortunate, because for me, it's internal context. It's a family fight. Even if it was external, there was no need for that. So all what I can say is to condemn it. And we in the diaspora were not happy to see such images coming from a peace-loving party like NDC. And I was a bit worried. So following that incident, as you said, we were speaking to our members, our supporters, I in particular, behind the scenes, to make sure that such similar images would not come out after the National Delegate Congress, because that was even more tense, more highly competitive than even the youth wing. And I have testimony to that. I was there last week, 2 days before the National Congress. One of our branches, South London branch, organized a Zoom meeting, and they invited Professor Joshua Alabi, the campaign manager for 2020. And when it came to the question and answer section, that was my plea to him. I says, as an experienced and leader of the party, what measures are they putting in place to make sure that after the National Delegate Congress, we won't see what happened after the Youth and Women one? And he assured us publicly that as a party, they are working behind the scenes. Because I knew definitely whatever they were doing as a leaders of the party, they were not going to put it publicly. But he assured the chapter that they will make sure that such things will not happen after the National Delegate Congress. And hence, you could say the outcome of the National Delegates Congress was peaceful. We had the new chairman, new general secretary. Some officers were replaced, some retained their position. There is no any banter in the media. So we are now strategizing. If there's any enemy for us to be fighting, is the MPP, not NDC. We are one family. And I said it before. I mean, people blow things out of proportion, like a general and former chairman is going to be. I said, look, we have seen it before. The Dr. Obera Samoa and Alhaji Idris Umama were the founding fathers of the NDC. But they even competed for the chairmanship position at a point, and the loser supported the winner. Alhaji Muhammad Idris supported Obed, and today Alhaji Muhammad Idris is the chairman of Council of Elders. So I was hoping things peaceful outcome of our nation, and we have achieved it. So my brother Jonathan, we can only join in condemning the incident of Cape Coast and continue to play because we have influence. I didn't go to Ghana, but some of the delegates were calling me, which candidate should I vote for? That is the honest truth. And some even thought I was there. That day they were still calling me, where are you? Where? So unfortunately, I'm still hiding in my land. So we have influence over our supporters, our families, our brothers back at home. We need to continue talking to them, using the necessary channel to make sure that our internal conflicts are resolved. In coming back to our UK here, look, I made mention of co-opting people. I have that track record. Last time when I won in 2018, people that were perceived to be in other camps, I worked with my colleagues and they were co-opted. There were vacancies. We co-opted them so that we can work together to make sure. So those who even missed out in Ghana, I'm sure the national leadership will find positions for them so they'll work collectively to send the elephant to where they belong. Thank you very much.
Sure, Chairman. Thank you very much. Indeed, you are a competent leader. Can we take a question from MFA Kumsin, please? MFA Kumsin.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Chairman, your tenure speaks for itself with all your achievements, adding 5 branches to the chapter, inheriting 6. Right, you've got bright ideas that have been inculcated into the NDC manifesto, the raising the highest amount of money to help with the NDC campaign. This time, if you are retained as the NDC UK/Ireland chairman for this time, what are the new plans that you've got? The new plans you've got this time.
Okay, thank you very much. My sister, the new plans is to make sure that some of these committees, like the fundraising committee, will be, I would say, reappointed immediately. Because in 2020, or before the 2020 election, we are hoping to organize a fundraising dinner to invite the flag bearer with the hope of raising funds. And as we all know, COVID spoiled everything. So we're in a very difficult situation. And then at the point I said, okay, the way things are, let's set up a committee to start raising funds, calling people. And within the COVID lockdown, we set up a fundraising committee under the able leadership of the current vice chairperson, Madam Janet Atia. I did that for a reason, because if you look at the NDC setup, the chairman of every wing is the chairman of the finance committee. So I didn't want a situation whereby I'll be everywhere. So I said, I'm going to pull back, and I won't call that committee finance committee. I'll call fundraising committee for 2020. So it was a purpose vehicle to raise funds, which the constitution allows me to do that. And I step aside and the vice took over. I know women, they are good at raising money. So whatever money we raise, Madam Jenatia should take the credit for that. She did well with the other members of the committee. So whatever we are going to do, if I'm retained today, I can assure you by the end of January, February, we'll have some of these committees in place. You can imagine if we start raising funds now, by the time we're going for 2020, we would have double whatever money we're able to raise. Now going forward, Politics is a learning organization. I think I will listen more. I'll allow people to do things as long as it's within the parameters of the Constitution. Of course, if you come out and you are going to do things that I think it will be detrimental to our interests as a party, I will draw your attention. So there's going to be more engagement with members, the branches, give them more autonomy to do things at the branch level, of course, within the laws. And then together we can strategize and prepare ourselves in anticipation of ROPA. If ROPA is not implemented, that means our battleground will be in Ghana. We'll organize our people to go back to Ghana, speak to their communities and their family members. But if ROPA is going to be implemented, then our battleground is going to be in the UK here, and we need to be battle ready to face MPP good for good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hassan.
Thank you.
Ways to raise money for the party and also your inclusivity ideas. Can we go to the next person? Eric Stepanu. Apologies if I pronounce your surname wrong. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Okay. Good evening to Chairman Mbalba and all my fellow comrades on this platform tonight. Now, first of all, I would like to congratulate all the executive, the past executive, for the good work they've done so far. Now, my question is to the process of the election. From what I heard so far from his radio discussion with Master Musa, he threw light on a lot of the issues.
Eric, I can't hear you.
From your last discussion you had with Master Musa radio. I listened to you so well and threw a lot of light on some issues that we are talking about tonight. Now, going forward with this election and the process that we put into place, which was actually overruled by the Fashion Executive and the International Relations Department, don't you think that it would be better for the UK Ireland chapter and all the NDC diaspora chapters to have their own parameters in running the election if it does not go against the rules of the party? Why am I saying this? Because the environment upon which the chapters are set up in Europe is not the same as Ghana. So applying the Ghana rules to the chapters to be run, I think it's becoming detrimental to the interests of the party. Won't you agree with me in that area?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Eric. You are absolutely right. Look, you can't sit in Accra and pass directives to address all issues in the various chapters. So what they have tried to do is to come out with general guidelines and then make some specific provision for various branches depending on their peculiar situations. So if you take United States of America, for instance, they have given them the leeway to have 5 vice chairmen. And most of their substantive positions like the secretary, the women's organizer, the communication, I think they have 2 deputies. When you go to what we call the Nordic chapter, they have used the 4 countries, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, and one other country to form the Nordic. And because of that, they have made sure that the chapter executive in the Nordic chapter, they have representatives. What we as UK, we have failed to do, instead of us to sit down collectively and present a collective proposal to our ACCRA, this is the way we want to have our structure, we're doing it individually. And that is where the problem came from. Because the US, they made a special request. They are large, though we are larger than them in terms of numbers. That is another achievement. So because of that, they want 5 vice chair. ACCRA said, okay, that's fine. They want 2 deputies for that certain position. ACCRA said, that's fine. But we were not speaking with one common voice. You see people calling ACCRA with their personal agenda or parochial interest. That is the vein of the problem in this chapter. So if I'm retained today, I will make sure that that thing will stop. I will tell ACCRA, if anybody calls speaking to anybody, if it is not from official source, they should just ignore it. If we decide as a group and we present it to them officially from the chapter secretary, then that's what they should be working with. And that is why we came out with this 14th January date for our election, because it was voted by the chapter executives, and we quickly signed it to ACCRA. Though some disagree, ACCRA said that is your collective decision. We are going to go with that. Though they were hoping we would have pushed it to the ending of January, but some executives said no, they want it on the middle of January. ACCRA said, go with that. So I've learned a lot in the last 4 years after chapter change. The lot of problems we have here emanates from the members. I'm not saying I don't call ACCRA, but I call in my official capacity. I don't call and start talking about my personal issues. No, I don't do that. The chapter secretary don't do that. But we have instances sometimes we have people who are not even part of the chapter leadership. They will call ACCRA and they will go around saying ACCRA said this, ACCRA said that. And it is causing a lot of unnecessary tension in the chapter. Come down to 2024, we don't need that. So we'll make sure that we minimize the tension and we'll continue to. So back to your point, we need to sit down. We used to have standing orders. The standing orders made clear how certain things should be carried out in this chapter. But when we came to office, we were told standing orders shouldn't contradict the Constitution. And because there were plans to amend the NDC Constitution, I'm saying this so people will know why we didn't amend our standing orders. We were told to hold on, because if you amend your standing orders and later on the Constitution is amended and there's conflict between your standing orders and the Constitution, definitely the Constitution will take precedence. So we waited, and we all knew there was a plan to call a mini conference before the last this month National Delegate Conference. And that mini conference was just to amend the NDC Constitution. And that would have given us the chance to also amend our standing order in line with the NDC Constitution. But we couldn't do that. So hopefully this time around, I know there's still talk of amending the Constitution in Ghana. If they amend it, we'll amend our standing orders. We incorporate how we want our election to be conducted. And that will be voted for. We'll make sure that the various branches and other members will have a say in it. And that will be shelf waiting for the next election to come. It will be our Bible and the Quran for the running of the chapter in the next 4 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we go to Comrade Francis Aweso, please? Francis.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Good evening.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask Chairman Mbalba this question. So in an effort to drive recruitment for membership for the NDC, both here and in Ghana, some of the questions they ask is, what is the direct benefit that I would gain if I become a member? I remember when the Deputy General Secretary came for the conference here in Liverpool, and we met her. We were asking on behalf of members, what would these members get? Should they become members of the party, and should the party come into office? So, what is the vision of the UK chapter in relation to this, so that we can also assure and reassure members and sympathizers that this is on the table for you?
Thank you very much, my brother. This is a very important question. You see, we all join political parties with our individual interests. Some just love the party, or they think the party is doing things that will benefit Ghana. Some join because they want to get appointments. Some just join party because they have business interests and they think if they join a political party, they'll be able to advance their interests. My brothers and sisters, if I'm retained, I'll make sure that all these individual interests will be taken into consideration. I did mention that we raised unprecedented funds. You know what I did? Even if you gave £5, your name was recorded on the list. And the list of all contributors was sent to ACCRA. Though later on, I was told, or there was rumors circulating that I sent the name of preferred people for appointment even before the 2020 election. My brothers and sisters, that wasn't the case. It is not true. The list that was sent was the number of names of people who donated. And I did that for a reason. Because if we are in power, somebody may want a position of chief executive, someone may want to get DC secretary, somebody just want a small contract. So if your name were on that list and you contact me and say, look, this is what I did for the party, I can easily call the powers and say, look, so and so contributed. So this is his contribution. If we can help him, why not? So my thinking, unfortunately, when we thought we were going to win, was to open up, and then we'll get the names of individuals with whatever interest in terms of appointment, and we'll present a list, and say, look, these are the people that we think they should be considered. If I'm from the north, if somebody is from the Ashanti region and is looking for DC secretary in his district, it's up to me to help that person to get right commendation letters for that person. There's a business somewhere somebody wants to get contract and he has the requisite or can support. I will push that. And honestly speaking, the secretary, Chap Michael Kudiawo, is my witness. We arrived in Ghana before the 2020 election, about 2 or 3 days. We went to the party headquarters, we met some of the leaders. The first thing they said, oh, you guys, you are welcome. You, the diasporans, especially UK, this time you guys have done well. So some of the appointments will be reserved for the diasporans. They did not say, Alhaji Mbalba, you have done well, and the appointment will be reserved for you. They said it will be reserved for. So I laugh over it. I said, let's win the election first before we start talking about the appointment. So that is me. It's not about me. How many appointments can I even get? And there's even evidence that as far back 2008 when we won, I was asked to bring my CV. I didn't even send it. I've never sent any CV looking for appointment in Ghana. So if I can help members of this chapter to get appointment, why not? And when I met the leaders of the party, leading members, I don't want to mention it, I said that is one of our problems. So we need assurance that we will not be left out. And I used MPP as a case. I said, look, most of their people in the diaspora have their appointment in Ghana now. So we also want to be given our share of the appointment so we win the election. But as we know, we're cheated. But inshallah, 2024 is ours. So we need to start putting strategies in place so that this time round, when we win, we'll sit down and decide who and who should get whatever appointment. Right from this secretary to Ambassador to whatever ministerial appointment, we need to be represented. We have stakeholders and they need to recognize that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman Mbalba. I think you've demonstrated that, and I can acknowledge that as well, that you keep or acknowledge all the interest of individual comrades. Can we go to the next question, please, Rhoda?
Thank you, Senior Comrade. Eyezu.
Yes,
Thank you, all protocols duly observed. My question to Chairman. Chairman, your contenders keep asking about accountability. What will you say is your achievement so far on accountability? And what will you do to improve upon it after your win? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And this very important question as well, to set the record straight. I've said earlier on in my this administration is the best administration appointed an internal NDC constitution.
Please, can we mute whoever is making noise at the background?
NDC constitution. Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Chair.
There was a
the executive of every wing to appoint an auditor to audit the accounts of every administration. Interestingly, I've said this on other platforms, and I'm going to repeat it. Before I became chairman, dues and whatever monies were supposed to be paid into the chapter bank account. When we took over, we said, look, we are growing, we are decentralizing. The various branches should take responsibility for collecting of dues from their members. But when they collect the dues, they should keep 40% and forward 60% to the chapter. Out of this 60%, half of the 60%, which is 30%, will be sent to ACCRA. It will interest you to know, as I'm sitting here, I don't know if they have started giving us our 60% because this election is coming. We're not getting anything from the branches. Nobody, no one, no branch, not even penny. But as I said, I don't know the current situation because election is coming. There's directive that if the 60% is not given to the chapter, then all the branch members will not take part in the election. So maybe they are responding. In terms of accountability, all the monies we have raised through COVID, 2020 fundraising, whatever it is, everything, I wasn't even part of those raising it. And those who raise the money have always announced the money they have raised and where the money is being sent to. If it was going to ACCRA, you will get letters from ACCRA saying they have received this amount of money from the chapter. So when it comes to the issue of accountability, as a chairman, I have done all whatever I could do. But you see, there's some interesting dimension about our chapter accounts. There's a saying in a proverb in my language that the day that woman is giving birth, there's no privacy again. So I will say this. Look, our accounts, our chapter account, we have inherited it without a debit card, without online banking. And I think our predecessors did it that way for a reason. So if you want to take money from two of the signatories must physically visit the bank, sign a check, and then take the money. And we all know these days in the UK, if you take the money, you can't put the money cash into someone's account. So somebody must put the money in his or her accounts and transfer it. So anytime we are doing an event and there's money to be spent either by the organizer, the communication team, I look for the treasurer, we'll go to the bank, take the money. I'm the budget holder. That's the way it's supposed to be. And sometimes, okay, the women's organizer will need some money for certain things. And I will put it in my personal account because that's the way. I can't put cash. And the women's organizers live far away. If I want to give cash, that means I have to leave my work and go and look. So I just put and transfer it into them. So every penny that came out of the chapter account in my administration is easily catered for. And the chapter treasurer is not a person that will say, okay, I've given this money to the chairman without recording. So it's now up to the treasurer to put down his accounts and say, on this date, we met at the bank and the chairman collected this money for this project. And the various officers that spend the money should send the receipt of their payment to the treasurer. And the accounts will be prepared and the auditor will audit it. So there's nothing in terms of accountability. I have done what I could do within my remit. I can't audit myself. That won't be fair. So the issue of money going into whatever account is just the setup of our accounts. And I thought about it about 6 months ago, whether we could get online banking so that if we are looking for money, it will be transferred directly. I made an approach to the bank, and the response of that, we need to change or contact the signatory. So I sat down and said, okay, we are left with less than a year to leave office. Maybe there will be a new set of signatories because the treasurer, the secretary, and the chairman are the signatories. So one person cannot take anything out of the account without the other two knowing. It is they made it so for a reason. But now, that wasn't the case in the past, honestly. But I don't want to go into whatever happened to our finances in the past. So the accounts will be audited. The attempts to audit the previous accounts, we encountered a lot of difficulties. Accounts that before I became chairman, which is not for public consumption, we are still trying to see how we can resolve it. But for me, I have not received any money from the branch. So if we are going to even audit, it's just going to be income expenditure. So the branches, they should also be auditing the account. Who demands equity must come with what? Clean hands. They have taken money. They have been taking this. I have not taken any this from anyone. All the money I have received under administration is voluntary donation for certain special projects, and we have spent it on that project. So if accountability, tell your branch chairman and secretary and the treasurer, they should furnish the secretary, the treasurer, the chapter treasurer of all the information, and the accounts will be audited. And if Alhaji Mbalba spend even your penny, if you do your calculation very well, I'll be taking some money back from the chapter. But we'll talk about that another time. Thank you very much. So my conscience is clear. It's just politics. Sometimes we blow it out of proportion to just make ourselves look attractive. But I'm not somebody that will spend NDC money. I'd rather put more money into NDC. Thank you.
We trust you. We trust you, Mbalba. Can we go to Emmanuel Yeboah, comrade, please?
Azu. Thank you very much, Chris, and thank you, Chairman Mbalba, for the opportunity. Right. Picking up, I've got a question, and I've also got one or two. Right. Picking up from where Manchester Secretary left off about the what members stand to benefit. I listened very, very carefully with a very, very keen interest because this question, like he said, came from our branch. Again, I don't think members should make special contribution before they will get anything from our beloved party if they so need it, because they are members who pay dues, and the dues is what makes the members. I mean, for having registered and then be dues paying members, they qualify for any piece of the cake if that is the case. Now, if it gets to a point where we're struggling as a party, and then there is a call for support, special support, that is also of a different interest and different issue altogether. So, Chairman, I would be very happy if you could come back again and then tell us that it's not people who contribute specially, but registered members who pay dues, who are foot soldiers, who are grassroots, who should be beneficiaries to some of these things. That is one. Now, the second thing here is we've been around for a while, both the chapter and the party. We have been members for a while.
Hello?
Okay, I think, I think he's gone.
Yeah,
so
sorry,
we'll
I
take
think
one question at a time, please.
I didn't present that well. NDC is not a capitalist party where we have preferential shareholders. What I'm trying to say, of course, if you have the expertise to help and they are looking for your expertise.
Chairman. Hello. Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, you are muted. Okay. Okay, can I talk now?
I think you finish the answer before we ask one question at a time.
Fine, it must not necessarily be linked to one's contribution. And this is sometimes they look for people from disadvantaged backgrounds, people with certain skills to contribute their quota. That shouldn't be tied to whatever money you have given. We are not like the NPP, where they have real owners or preferential shareholders, and they take whatever is available before the rest will get. No. So what I'm trying to say, if there's anything that one can contribute, and we think this person is fit for that position, why not? We can push that person. I don't know if the former North London secretaries, youth organizer, Anyas is here. He will testify if he still remember. There was a time I was sitting from nowhere before we even lost 2016, and I was asked to call Sam George. That time I had never spoken to Sam George before. They just gave me his number, and I called Sam. And said, "Oh, I wasn't even the chairman. Then they have some special project, World Bank, whatever project, and they are looking for somebody with my skills set, and somebody mentioned my name. So if I'm interested, I should send my CV, and he forwarded it forward. That was, I didn't even send my CV. I just, okay, thank you. I'm not ready to come home now. So things like that is not linked to your contribution. So assuming they are looking for accountant or somebody with accounting, somebody with health experience, anything, and they send a message that we want so and so, we are not going to be sitting down asking how much that person has contributed to NDC. That time we are looking for what he can offer to Mother Ghana. And this brings me to the point that we need to have a skill database. The Zongo Caucus Coordinator used to champion it. We have the vision, we have the men with the vision. Parakan was championing this even before the issue of professional forum came out. And all what he was saying, let's compile the list of our professionals and their skills, so that if they are looking for somebody with that kind of skills, we have it to present forward. That's what we'll do. So appointment and benefits shouldn't be linked to one's contribution. But of course, those who are also contributing because they want to benefit, they too shouldn't be left out. So it's going to be balancing exercise. Those who contribute and they want to give will be considered. Those who have special skills or they are just ordinary dues payers will not be left out, because there's opportunity for everyone. And the former president and incoming president, John Mahama, said it. There is room for everybody to get something in NDC. So we'll make it open and transparent so that everybody will get a little thing that will make him feel part of the big NDC family. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman Dow, for clarifying this for us. So just to say this, we ask one question at a time. So if you have the floor, you ask only one and you raise your hand again, I'll come back to you. We have someone, iPhone. If you can change and put your name there, then I can call you, please, to ask your question. Can we move to Papa Kweku Ando, please?
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. Just briefly, thank you, Chair, for actually organizing this event. One of the questions I wanted to ask, you've actually answered it, which was what our chairman, Emmanuel Yabua, asked you. It's fair that people are given a position that will help NDC than Mother Ghana, because that's the key thing, because politics, we are not in politics in order to, you know, reward ourselves with so much things, but to make sure that whatever that we can do, you know, it helped Mother Ghana. Now, one thing that I would like to say, Chairman, is that I think we need a bit of educational in the fact that not many people that are NDC member understand the dynamic of politics. And I think that's one of the areas that I would urge you to really focus on, to educate, because I mean, when it comes to one of these questions that was asked, which you've just answered properly, the second one is the Constitution and the standing order, because the Constitution that you explain in terms of, you know, we've got to wait for ACCRA to make an amendment before we do the standing order. I think sometimes some people don't understand these things. So I think there's a lot of education need to be put in here, really, to help members who are not really political, what I would say, sound or understood how politics work. And when it comes to also conflict of interest, as well as conflict, you know, within the party, is something that we also need to educate our people that we do not abuse, we do not fight, but to look at what other countries do, not to keep on repeating what we do badly in our country, but to really rather educate the grassroots, because by doing that, we'll avoid conflict, we'll avoid fight, we'll avoid spat. All these things, I think, need to be in place in order to guide us and also help us to be fit and proper party members. Thank you.
Thank you, Papa. You are absolutely right. We have the men and women in this chapter with vast experience in various disciplines that can even send ideas to Ghana. I'm not boasting. Those in Ghana, they are occupying that position, but not that they are knowledgeable than some of us here. That is the fact. If we organize ourselves and stop whatever we are doing, we can even send proposals to Ghana. I always say this. In UK, one common thing we know is equal opportunities. Every department is supposed to have, any organization, equal opportunities policy, which means you can't discriminate. So if somebody belongs to MPP and you CPP and you are in NDC, doesn't mean that you should have personal grudge with him. So it sickens me and depresses me, even if within our own party, we think because somebody belongs to this religion or this tribe, it shouldn't be allowed to flourish. It is clearly anti-party behavior. We are here, we meet with people from various sexual orientations. Sometimes we think it's against our personal values, but that is the law of the UK. You have to abide with it. So these are basic things I will champion. Look, my style was to be visiting all the branches, attending their meetings, rotating so that we can engage more face-to-face to discuss some of these issues. But COVID prevented it, that is the fact. But even with that, I visited Birmingham, Manchester. I'm from Manchester, I was there even twice before 2020 election, just to make sure that we revamp that branch in readiness for Europa. So sometimes some of these educational things, you can't do it meaningfully in an open forum. a smaller meeting so that people will have time to ask the question. So I'll take it on board, discuss it with the next executive, inshallah, and I'll roll out a plan on education. Another thing I didn't touch, there's going to be a regular workshop, annual conferences. We shouldn't wait. And this conference is not going to be in London. We'll have a roadmap so that we'll meet at various locations in the UK to discuss these policies. And collectively, we can come out with green people or white people, whatever we want to call it, and send it to Accra so that they can incorporate it into our general policies direction for the party. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman Mbalba. I think I just want to remind people that we ask one question at a time.
Campaign manager, and to remind them, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah,
Facebook and YouTube. I have also got some questions which is being sent on to the other lines. So if I can read them now, let's attend to them, please. One from Alex Enim. So he said, "Thank you, host, for the opportunity. Good evening, Chairman. There has been lots of issues around regarding your leadership skills on being a team player and unifier. Can you respond to why you are being maligned and tagged by a section of your executives on this issue?"
Okay, thank you very much. I've said it before, and I'll repeat it. I'm a team player, and the evidence is there. In last election in 2008, again, the directives that came from Accra disqualify almost all the contestants, especially we have positions we call 8 executive members without portfolio. Only 2 were eligible to contest. So those who were even perceived to be in the opposition camp, opposing me after the election, I said, okay, let's bygones be bygones. Let's bring some of them in because we all have something to contribute. They were co-opted. Sometimes you don't say things in public, but I have to say this again. And even before the election, I spoke to some candidates behind the scenes, advising them to go for certain positions, to pave way for others to get their positions unopposed. All these people came in. And unfortunately, I think they turned themselves into unofficial opposition within the executives. Reason best known to them. So it got to a point wherever the chairman is doing, even if it is good, because it is the chairman who is doing it, then the unofficial opposition will oppose it. And if they oppose it, because they are not, general members are not in the executive meeting, they send a message out there and create wrong impression. I'll give one example. Any well-meaning NDC member should not be against the recruitment of members into the party. Should not be against inauguration of any branch if the branch has satisfied the requirement. A branch or upcoming branch send letters they want to form a branch. The secretary read the letter at executive meeting. We all agree. Let's engage with them. This upcoming branch even call a face-to-face meeting. And I put it on the executive platform. I said, let's go and see them. We went there and we saw them. And we were convinced that they were ready to be inaugurated because they had even paid their dues into the chapter account, whereas the old members or the existing branches were not even paying. I called Accra. I said, look, this is what this upcoming branch has done. So I think they are ready to be inaugurated. And somebody in Accra said, okay, then that's good. Call a meeting with only you and the secretary and that group of that, leaders of that group. So that we'll set out the rope. I say, hey, I'm not calling a meeting between the group and me and the secretary. I'm inviting all the chapter executives to witness it. When the meeting was called, it came out that I made a unilateral decision. And I was shocked. And there are evidence to that. And because of that, they said, oh, the new branches should not be inaugurated until after our election. Because if they inaugurate the branch, Chairman Alhaji Mbalba is going to add that to one of his achievements, or the people from that branch will vote for him. That is anti-party behavior. But because I just wanted peace to prevail, I said, okay, that's fine. It's not about me. So if that is going to cause problem, that is me. You see, we are all from different professional backgrounds. I can easily be persuaded to change my course. But if I convince myself that what I'm doing is right within the laws of the country, NDC and whatever, and the approach is to use our personal agenda to unsettle it, no, I will push. And then I come into coalition with some executive members. And that message will go out, is this and that, is that and that. For God's sake, I've been practicing social work for good 20-something years in this country. Not even a one formal complaint against me. And I've risen up to a managerial level. If I'm that bad, I wouldn't have survived in social work for even 1 year. Those who have experience of working with social workers. And in our area of profession, we make difficult decisions. And if I'm making that difficult decision and the service users think that I'm wrong, I'm not going to back down because they just think I'm wrong. As long as I convince myself what I'm doing is in the interest of my service users and in the line with the constitution and the laws that the country has vested in me as a social, I will push it. So I bring that approach to my work. If I say, let's do this, and some executive members think it is not right, and they are making all kinds of accusations, I won't back down. Because if I was not resilient, I will tell you, some of these achievements we are today talking, some of them wouldn't have happened. Because clearly, sometimes it's just to make sure that certain things are not done. For whatever reason, I don't know. And my only mistake was to reluctantly bring some of the people in. And I knew they were against me before the election. But I thought after the election, let's let bygones be bygones. So sometimes I hear certain things they write, they say about me, and I look at myself, are they talking about Mbalba? But that is politics for us. But thank God, NDC UK Raleigh chapter is one of the most educated and discerning constituency within the mother party. So people are discerning enough and they are reading in between all these fabrications. And that is why my campaign or my bid to retain or win the next chapter is still ahead. Because people call me and they say, they said this about it, but we don't believe what they are saying. So let's do politics of evidence-based. Let's stop attacking each other. But all you know, I'll still be the chairman after 14th January. So if you run me down and the next day I'm still the chairman, how are you going to market me or support me to move the chapter forward? So thank you very much. So all those things is propaganda. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Nobody is perfect. And that is why I said at the beginning, for me, politics is a learning organization. You will reflect on a daily basis. Some of the things that are causing unnecessary tension in the chapter, I've been taking notice of it. And I assure you, if I'm retained today, I will engage with all those people on individual basis. What is the problem? What can we do to minimize this tension? What do you want me to do? I will do it. But as long as it's not going to affect. If you call me and say, don't inaugurate a branch because the people there are students, that I won't listen to you. So if you go and call me names because I'm telling you, let's inaugurate a branch, you think they are students, I won't listen to you. That way, I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to be Akufo-Addo to pretend because I'm looking for power, say certain things that I know I can't do. But things like you want your independence, you want to do things without even consulting the chairman, which that's what we do sometimes. We do certain things without even consulting the chairman. And then I'll hear about it from outside. Oh, your chapter has done this. Your chapter has appointed so and so. And I'm sitting down. I don't know. We don't run an organization that way, especially a political party. But some of these things, sometimes I just let it go. But having said that, I will learn, I will listen, I'll engage with them more. I'll give people the autonomy That is the bit that I want to do everything. Where am I going to get the time in this country to do everything? Sometimes I leave house, I don't come back till about 10 o'clock doing work. I don't have time to do everything. So I wish everybody would be doing his job. And then our mind is just to come and chair meetings and we'll move the chapter forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman Mbalba. I'll read a few comments that has been posted. One from @gmail.com said, "You do it all, Chairman. You are the people's leader. Vote to retain Alhaji." From Taufik Suleimana, "Mr. Chairman, you talk really like a leader. I pray that you retain your position. I wish, your UK chapter, I could have voted for you." And from Sami Jan said, "You are indeed a leader." Francis Tiga said, "We are on the move for victory." I think I'll read one more question before we go to our comrades here. So the next one is from Victoria Ej, who said, "In anticipation of RUPA, your leadership has done a lot in terms of forming more branches in the chapter. But how can you ensure this is sustainable and not be a 9-day wonder?"
Thank you very much. Look, this is an interesting question. People rushing to join NDC today are not thinking about UK and Ireland chapter election, honestly. Some of them, they didn't even know that election is coming. Some of them are saying Ghana is suffering, RUPA is coming, so they want to join NDC and contribute their quota. And that is why I was shocked to hear some people are linking the inauguration of new branches to chapter election. So for the retention of these people, it won't be a 9-day wonder. We need to engage with them, absorb them fully, and try to provide relevant information to them, get them ready in anticipation of what? RUPA. So we'll continue because we have two sets of people. Some are just Ghanaians, and even in Ghana, they are not card-bearing members of any political party. When it comes to voting, they will vote for NDC. We are going to get that kind of people so that we will mobilize them, get them ready, start engaging with them to get them prepared. Because why am I saying this? RUPA is going to be an interesting dynamic in the diaspora. First of all, you must prove that you are a Ghanaian before they will even register you. And if you are registered as a voter, let me make this distinction. The Ghana card will not be used as a voter ID card unless if they are yet to change the law. But what they are saying, Ghana card will be one of the requirements one must produce in order to get his or her name onto the electoral register. So you go to Ghana High Commission, wherever they want to do it, acquire your Ghana card, and then when the EC decide to come to UK to register Ghanaian voters, you present your Ghana card or passport for registration. So when we get our people, we need to prepare them, give them the relevant information for either they go for their Ghana card or they renew their Ghana passport. And we need to mobilize them. Just like even internal, and that is why I'm saying people should vote for me. Some think certain people in this country or from Ghana should not join the chapter, which is wrong. The same thing MPP is doing to certain people in Ghana is happening here. So if we are not careful and we start doing that to our own supporters, they will have every right to prevent them from joining Ghana electoral register when the times come. So I'll lead that to say, make sure that every member of NDC or sympathizer who is a Ghanaian will acquire Ghana card and that person will be eligible to register. I attended a meeting before the 2020 election at the Ghana High Commission. I represented the party. That meeting was chaired by the High Commissioner, His Excellency Papa Osu Ankuma. And the thinking was that the Ghana High Commission is likely to be the polling station. And somebody even said, oh, the High Commissioner will be the presiding officer. I said, hey, Yeah, Your Excellency, we can't allow that to happen. You are a link to NPP, so that can't happen. And he laughed over it. So if you look at my manifesto, I've stated it. I'm going to reach out to NPP in this country. Other Ghanaian groups that are non-partisan, like Ghana Union, the tribal unions, so that we'll have a round table regular discussion, equivalent of IPAC, so that we'll come out with ideas to make sure that Ghanaians living in the UK will be enlightened and get the chance to take part in election if ROPA is implemented. We'll go to the Ghanaian mosques, we'll go to Ghanaian churches, attend for a recruitment drive. And how do you maintain it? You need to maintain it by doing extracurricular activities. I don't have weekend. Is it outdooring? Charity event? I go and I represent, I speak on behalf of NDC. So some people see me at such events. Oh, we know there's NDC who like to join. Some of our executives are witness. We attended a charity event recently, and after speaking, some people came out from MPP and they said they were going to join NDC. We went to funeral recently, it happened the same way. So that is what we are going to do to maintain the momentum. Make sure that we mark them good for good. Should they dare to bring ROPA? We are not against ROPA. Our principle is simple: ROPA everywhere or ROPA nowhere. So if they can do it in Ghana, in UK, they should be doing it in Togo as well. That is our position. We are not going to go for half ROPA. That one, the laws of the country will not allow that. So we are ready for it. So for me, and that is why I think I'm the right person for this job. Another accusation going around, which I'm going to make it clear. NDC is an equal opportunities party. You are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are a pagan. You should be allowed to join the party as long as you have satisfied the requirement, which is Ghanaian by birth, 18 years, and you are not a member of any political party. That is all. And if you are MPP today and tomorrow you decide to say you are joining NDC, we are not going to drive you away. We are not. So all this perception that certain people are from certain mosques or certain religious center joining NDC, I want members to stop doing that because it is anti-party behavior. And it is a crime under the laws of this country, and it's a serious crime even under NDC law. So if they find themselves on the other side of the law, they should have themselves to be blamed, because you can't discriminate against anybody in this country on the basis of religion or other things. So let's be careful, reach out to all Ghanaians that are prepared to join the NDC as a party. And then together we can build the NDC that we all want. And together we can build the Ghana that we all want. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman Mbalba. I can see some few names, and please bear with me. What I'm thinking to do is to let those who have not spoken to speak, please. So can we go to Adelaide Emenu, please?
Chairman Mbalba, I feel really honored for choosing me to be part of your campaign team. Very grateful for that. I just want to encourage you that when you are a principled person, you're always going to find people who either don't really understand how you operate or how you want things to be done. But I just want to encourage you to continue the good work that you're doing.
Thank you,
I think people that have got the same vision will understand where you are actually hoping to get. But don't actually be distracted at all. I mean, I have been in management for some time now. You have been as well. Sometimes people see those qualities as a good thing, but you get people also see it as something different because you don't really play within their line or toe within their line. So I'm just encouraging you, to continue the good work that you are doing. I mean, we haven't known you for much, but we have seen the things that you have done. And we are very hopeful that if you are retained, you've got better things to do. I mean, there's a saying that the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. All these other people giving us all these other promises, we don't know, we don't have any evidence of them. But at least with you, we have the evidence. We've seen what you have done. And we are actually sure of what you are hoping to achieve. So as I said, as a principled person, don't be discouraged at all. You're always going to have people who don't understand you, who don't get it and stuff like that, because you don't actually fall within their line of thinking or how they want things to be done. But as you rightly said, as long as you are not offending anybody, as long as it's within the Constitution, it's very important that you are a people's person. You know, you have to listen times. But listening doesn't mean that you have to agree to what people are saying if it's not going to, you know, benefit the individual, or it's not going to be, you know, good for the party. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the party first. You know, there's nothing about friendship or this person, this and that person, that. So for me, continue the good work. And we are here to support you. We are proud to be part of your campaign team. And hopefully on the 14th of April, we will retain you as our chairman. Thank you.
14th January. It's 14th January.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, my sister. Thank you. I'll take your advice on
Well
board.
said, Ashley. Well said.
Thank you, Papa, for acknowledging that. Can we go to Nana Hima Deborah, UK, please?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, sir. I've listened to all what you are saying, but the good thing that you said that to me, it's really everywhere is the welfare. Once upon a time, 4 years ago, you promised, which I can say is in authority, that Nana, I'll bring the
Nana,
welfare
can you speak
back.
louder? I can't hear you. Nana,
Hello, can
Yeah,
you
you
hear
can
me
hear.
now?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear you.
I will bring the welfare back, which I can say that your wife put her signature on it. But 4 years, I didn't see the welfare. But now the welfare is everywhere. It means the welfare is here to stay. Because you said something, the roper, I go to funeral, I do this, I do. All is under welfare. Let's push that aside. Now, Nana Deborah is campaigning for Council of Health. Now we got this Zoom. 4 years ago, we couldn't get the privilege to get Zoom meeting to ask a lot of questions under your everyone manifesto. But now I want to find out from Chairman Mbalba if they retain you as chairman. Do you have the authority support the chapter to bring up the Council of Health? I rest my case.
Yeah, thank you, Nana Ima. On the issue of the welfare, you see, your proposals or the welfare committee proposal, I'm told, was upheld by ACCRA, honestly. And that's one thing I like about this our chapter. We sent a huge proposal saying that there should be welfare officers, not only in the diaspora, but in Ghana. And the information I got was that they said it is a laudable idea. But because it's a major introduction, they wanted to present it to the Congress, the mini Congress, so that they would have incorporated it into the Constitution. But as I said earlier on, that mini conference couldn't come on. So at the moment, it's not. But what they are saying, which we can sit down and come out with our own arrangement, because in the diaspora, it's very, very important for welfare of members. Some are there, they don't have friends, they don't have families here. If something happened to them, it's the party that will take responsibility, and that will help to attract more people. Even those that have families, if they have any event, welfare go there to represent the party, that will allow or attract. So if you look at it, Nana Deborah, though it's not clearly captured, some branches are appointing their welfare officers, and there's no problem with that. So I'll encourage branches to have the welfare officer, and we'll continue to have welfare officer at the chapter level. Among the 8 executive members, like we did before, Nana Deborah was appointed to be the welfare, and we'll continue to do that so that that person will continue to champion the issue of welfare, and in the end, we'll make sure that it will be incorporated into the NDC constitution and to be ruled across the board. On the issue of Council of Elders, I think it's long overdue, honestly, because even in Ghana, they have National Council of Elders. Alhaji Muhammad Idrisu is the national chairman, and it trickles down to the branch level. regional constituency. But that is missing in our chapter. And that is one of the problems responsible for the gap that which is responsible for our confusion. Because if we have council of elders, their rule not to say I'm dragging you to a decimal confusion. No, if there's problem, we'll present it to them. It is individual problem. It has to do with executive. They will try to use their wisdom or their elderly advice to solve it amicably. When all that fails, then we can be looking at maybe taking punitive action. So Nana Deborah, I don't think you are asking for anything new. It's something that it is in the constitution, but we have not been doing it. So again, Nana Ima has reminded me, one of the things I'll be introducing, a council of elders, made up of men and women of experience. If we can have council of elders here, the same council of elders here, we can make a strong case for some of them to be considered for appointment to serve on the Council of State. The Council of State is responsible for advising the president. So inshallah, if NDC comes to power in 2024, we are not only going to be sending names for people to be appointed as ministers, but we are going to be submitting names for people to be considered for appointment. And thank God, there's provision in the Constitution that there should be representative from all the regions on the Council of State. So if we have one of our own, one who is maybe, let's say, from Ashanti region, and he or she wants to be considered, we can also sit here and lobby. And the president has the right to just appoint people without necessarily them representing their region. So we can work on all this to make sure that we get people up there so that our chapter will continue to shine and contribute to the development of Madagascar. Thank you, Nana.
Thank you very much, Nana Mbalba. Yes. I think I can see Prosper, but I'll give the time to Emmanuel Yeboah to ask his question. Emmanuel.
Hello.
Oh, hi, we can hear you. Your question, please.
Yeah, thanks once again, Chris. The only thing I have to say, Mr. Chairman, is I've had opportunity to interact with some of your co-aspirants for the office of the chapter chairman. And pretty much they all seem to have the same thing in common to what you are doing tonight. And it's all brilliant. Is there a way that you can assure us that giving the nod to retain you, you'll be able to sit around the ideas table and tap into the great ideas of your colleagues, your three other colleagues that makes four? Are you able to, how are you going to bring them together so you can work with ideas? Because all this is in the interest of Ghana, not just even the UK, because whatever we do here, the focal point is Ghana. So how are you able to incorporate all these great ideas from your colleagues? By the way you are talking, it sounds like you are going to be retained by your own conviction and the comments that are coming. So if you are retained, tell us how you're able to bring everybody on board, get the best ideas, and then benefit of Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Emmanuel. As I said earlier on, I've done it before. Those who contested me last time, even for the chairmanship position, some of them agreed. They said, no problem. I'll mention name because this is credit to Dr. Joe Ajima. He contested for the chairmanship last time. Unfortunately for him, I was the winner. But before then, he was the vice chairman. He contested. So he said, and there was this vacancy, 8 executive member. Look, though that time, I was saying because he was hired there as the vice chair, I see it as a demotion if he's to accept executive member without portfolio. People didn't understand me. They thought I was against him. But when I realized Joe didn't mind serving that position, I said, why not? He should come in. So Joe is currently part of the executive chapter executive, but executive member with that portfolio. I'll continue to reach out. They must not necessarily even be on the executive to contribute. There are a lot of important committees that we are going to set up. Fundraising committee, whatever committee, ROPA committee. I will sit down with them, see which committees they want to head. If there's no positions for them to be co-opted to, or they don't want to be part of the chapters, I'll sit down with them, because at the end of the day, I can see we all have fantastic ideas. If we can harness this together, this chapter will be great. So, Emmanuel, I will engage, sit down with them, find out how they want to contribute, so that together we'll continue to make the chapter great, our party great, in the best interest of Mother Ghana. There's room for everyone to contribute his or her quota to the development of that chapter. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Before I come to the next person, Prosper, I would like to read some few comments which has been shared. From Eric Sepenu. He said, I have said it before, I admire your leadership style, frank and open to the leadership issues.
Campaign manager, speak a bit louder.
Oh, sorry, I will try again. So from Eric Sepenu. He said, I have said it before. I admire your leadership style, frank and open to the leadership issues. That's from Eric. The next one is from Michael, who said, you are doing a great job, bro. From Umar Dennis, well done, Chairman Mbalba. You've really shown that you are a charismatic and accommodating leader. As the vice chairman of Germany chapter who can't take part in the upcoming elections, I would only appeal to our comrades in the UK Ireland chapter should please vote wisely to retain this charismatic leader as your chairman. Thank you. So that was from Umar from Germany.
Thank you.
Francis Tiga, he said, you can see truth in his eyes. You know, they can read truthness in your eyes, which is very good. Muna said, you are a true leader and proven role model people across the political divide. I pray for you to retain your position. Amen. And then Mariama M said, congratulations, Chairman. So can we now go to Prosper, please? Prosper iPhone. Are you there, Prosper? Okay. I think he is not there. Let's go to Eric Sepenu, please. Is it what I read? Eric, can you hear me?
On mute.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you
Please
so
take
much
the floor.
for the second. Yeah, thank you so much for the second opportunity to come in. I thank everyone for the patience you have with us on this platform. My question goes to the probity and accountability issue, which is the fundamental rock of the NDC. It was born out of blood shed, and people laid down their lives for it. Now, what I've observed so far is that it seems that the branch executive are not adhering to this very core principle when it comes to this probity and accountability issue as far as finances are concerned. From the explanation of the chairman, it seems that the branch executive treasurers are not actually adhering to this principle by paying their quota to the chapter treasury. And it has happened in the past, and as such, as the chairman explained, he does not want to go back to whatever happens as far as that issue is concerned. Now that he, for sure, is going to be retained, how is he going to enforce this particular probity and accountability? Because, I ask that question because I realized that since the executive are in the diaspora, they're in the UK or wherever it is, they are not bound by any law of the party as far as implementation is concerned, they can go escort free and do whatever they want to do. How is he going to address this issue?
Thank you very much, Comrade Eric. You are right. There will be different approach to it. You see it in my manifesto. The treasurer, whosoever emerge as treasurer, I will make sure that there will be system in place so that the branches will be remitted. If we say monthly basis, it will be too much for them. Every month, they will remit the new members, those who have paid their dues, and that will be reported to the chapter leadership. If possible, we'll put it at a forum where everybody will know where we stand with our finances. I think in the past, people managed to get away. And I can tell you that ACCRA is not happy. And like you rightly pointed out, the Director of International Relations, Honorable Alexei, is threatening, well, not threatening, he made it clear people will be sanctioned if they don't comply this time around. And the sanction is likely to even come from ACCRA, which could be severe, because that is party money. It's not individuals' money. And because this time around, ACCRA too are determined to get their share of the dues, which is 30%. So if we don't get our share as a chapter, how can we send anything to ACCRA? So what they are saying, they themselves are going to design a system. So if we sit here and tell them that we have 100 people, they want 30% of those 100 people to be remitted to ACCRA on a regular basis. So they are very serious about it. Honestly, they even wanted us to be paid directly to them so that they will in turn send our share back. But I said, no, if we do it the other way around, it will be better, because transferring money from Ghana to here is going to be another wahala. So they said, okay, correct, but make sure you send the share. So they are serious about it. They are serious about it. And they kept telling me, some of you are members of Labour Conservative Party. You pay your dues. Why don't you want to pay your dues to the party? So, Comrade Eric, we are all collectively responsible to this problem, and we have to be collectively responsible in finding solutions. I can tell you one of the reasons that even delay or continue to delay our chapter election has to do with the dues. Because we don't have a register saying these are the up-to-date dues paying members. As of now, that is the problem. And even when the directive came and said, submit your members with the names of they joined, their dues payment information. Some branches just submitted the names without proof of when, how much dues were paid, apart from saying paid. Paid when? How much? So all this thing is causing unnecessary delay. But as a stakeholder, you have the right to ask your treasurer, your branch chairman, to remit your share of the dues to the chapter secretary. I don't want to scare you, but we are still having difficulties because people, the vetting committee, needs to be convinced that somebody is up to date with his dues, and they are not getting that information. And I don't collect the dues. I can provide it, but we left it for long. If you don't solve problems when hit the eye when it is hot, you run into serious difficulty. But thank God, to be fair, some branches are cooperating fully, and some are yet to cooperate. We'll continue to engage with them to make sure that we'll have a credible, fair election on the 14th of January, and mechanisms will be put in place to address this issue once and for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Can we please go to Taufik Suleimana, Germany, please?
Thank you very much. Good evening. My name is Taufik Suleimana from Germany. The Zongo coordinator in Germany. First of all, I would like to thank all of you, the comrades here on the platform, and especially Mr. Chairman. I hope you are listening to me.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yes, we are.
Thank you anyway.
Thank
you. First of all, we would like to thank you to Mr. Chairman, because you have done a lot for us, advising us here in Germany, the Zongo community, how we could come together to take part of, coming election. And we thank God everything went on successful. And in Germany, We are proud to have, new elected chapter executive, and we are on working towards, victory 2024, inshallah.
Thank you very much.
By hearing what you are saying, what you've said, I'm very proud to see you as a leader, despite I'm not in UK. But there's one point you've made, and I think maybe we in Germany also could use this opportunity to ask you a question about it, because it seems it is a problem in a lot of chapters that everybody have his own personal connection to the headquarters. That you could have one big elephant called headquarters and tell them whatever you want. And this cannot bring a united front for us in diaspora to prepare ourselves for 2024, because if there is division within ourselves in NDC, then we have a problem. But if everybody can call headquarters and then tell any story that you like, it won't help the party. So my question to you is, what connection do you have to the rest of diaspora chapter, chairmen, that you people could work on this issue collectively? Because UK is having the problem. In Germany, we are having the same problem. Maybe America will be having, or other chapter could be having such a problem. That there must be a collective decision by the chapter executive or chairmen, writing letter to the headquarters that they should very good diaspora chapter. Okay. So that is my comment.
You are absolutely right, and I'm not surprised other chapters are having the same problems. But the good thing is that we already have a group of diaspora leadership, which is made up of the chairman of various branches and their secretary. So now there is a widespread problem. Inshallah, if I'm retained, I will initiate that. We'll organize a meeting of this kind of Zoom or even face-to-face. Because if you remember, Holland chapter was planning to organize a EU kind of forum. We're planning to attend, and that forum was to create opportunity for us to discuss common issues we are having. But this day and age, because of technology, we don't necessarily need to even wait to meet face-to-face. So if I'm retained, I will team up with my colleagues, especially the biggest chapter, Germany and US. We'll hold a Zoom meeting straight away and put a collective letter to ACCRA. People can maintain their friendship. We don't have problem with that. But there should be a direct line of communication. A situation where we call individuals is causing us a lot of problems in the diaspora. And sometimes I say even my local constituency branch in Tamale Sarkitv, sometimes they can't even treat them that way, but we are causing it ourselves. If you call and you run down your chairman, definitely ACCRA is not going to respect it. They will listen to the other side, but that should be the thing of the past. We must start it, and I agree with you, there will be collective position taken by the diaspora leadership, and we'll present it to ACCRA to see how we can address that problem. Thank you very much, Tofik, and thanks for your compliments. Thanks for your compliments. That is why achievement I didn't mention. It got to a point that Germany members, some members in Germany wanted to join this chapter, and they were paying them. I said, no, let's rather remain there and work to make sure that your chapter will be sorted out. And Tofik and co-listening to me. Today, we had a election, and they even took part on in the National Delegates Congress. But I'm happy for them. That's all NDC is about. It's in the interest of the party, not any individual group or any individual.
Thank you, Chairman Mbalba. Can I go to loans, please? iPhone loans. Can you hear me? Okay. Victoria, could you please mute yourself? Loans, if Loans is not taking the floor, Alexis, yeah, Perry.
Thank you. Yeah, mine is just a contribution in terms of the dues issue that was raised, accountability issues. That is something that some of us have been passionate about in the past. But I think the problem that actually happened in the past, and where maybe branches are a bit reluctant in sending their dues forward, is because the chapter for the past have not been accountable in terms of finances. We've never had any report in any of for the past time that I have been with the chapter, given to members to tell us that this is how much we have taken and this is what we have spent and this is where we are. And so to consider as a branch chairman, considering there was at a time that we actually said, if the chapter will not account or show the good example, don't expect the branches to take the lead. At least if the chapter shows the example of making sure that they tell us what they have used our monies for, then we'll also be in a position to say, okay, yes, we know our money is being used well for the interest of the party. But of course, that was in the past. And then I'm sure I've raised this issue along several meetings about accountability. But I think the chapter, whoever comes in, should take this issue seriously so that you can show that leadership by example, and then branches will definitely follow. But as it is now, of course, the percentages are clear, branches are aware, and so I will encourage all branches to send our monies. But then when we send the monies forward, we will expect accountability from the chapter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Chairman Alexis. Thank you very much. Inshallah, I will retain and I will take your advice on board. Honestly, Chairman Alexis has always been hammering on accountability. It's just the constraints. Sometimes you push it, but I will continue to push it. We need to, because our party was founded on the basis of accountability. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I think there is one more question that's been sent to our other line, and it's from Festus. If I may read that, he says, Chairman Mbalba, good evening. You have achieved a lot in your administration, but the major setback attributed to your leadership is a delay in the chapter elections. Can you clarify what led to the delay and what it was your sole responsibility or a system failure caused by stakeholders across the rank of the party? So that is from Festus. Osei, do you want me to take the question again?
No, I think it's okay. My role in our failure to organize the chapter election, isn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah, I think I've touched on it, and I'll just summarize again. I mean, we are collectively responsible, but I would take the lion's share of them. And as I said earlier on, I was very, look, I can tell you, beginning of this year, I started chasing ACCRA for the directive. I have evidence, individual level. I wrote letters, personal letters. I knew without the directive, we are going to head for serious trouble. The only problem I think led to it, somewhere along the line, we're not singing from the same hymn book, which I've stated when I was proactive. Look, let me tell you, I'll say this. People will say I want to take personal credit. The 3rd December for our election for the diaspora came from me. The chapter secretary will testify. I called Mike and I said, look, if we don't fix it, then we'll run into trouble. Because that time there was rumors that a National Delegate Congress will happen in December without the 17th confirmed. So somewhere September, October, I said, look, let's propose to ACCRA that we want to hold our election on the 3rd of December because the NDC constitution allows the chairman to fix a date. So when we said that, ACCRA bought into it and sent a letter out, and then Germany hit the ground running, US hit the ground running. But because here we know the Queen's language very well, more than the other. We're interrogating the directive that came from ACCRA. We were, as executive. I'll say this. Honorable Alex Join tried to explain what he meant by certain things, and he will follow it up in writing. People said no, they want to see it in black and white. That man was frustrated that day. And I was helpless because I'm a chairman. The director of international relations came, do work of it, we'll send you the advice one. We said no. And when the committees that we proactively formed, even before the receipt of the directive, back to what Tofik said, later on I got to realize some people call Ghana to say, oh, that they were not part of, in the formation of those committees. I just unpicked them. Meanwhile, we met face to face and nominated them. But I didn't know that was the information sent to Accra. I would have provided evidence to say that it was appointed in line with the Constitution. I'm saying this because recently there was issue about the notice of a poll and what positions were available. Some called Accra to say we didn't even announce the positions that were available for contest. Meanwhile, there's email trade copied to Accra. So when I sat there, I said, look, Mike, pull out the evidence. It's about our integrity. It's about our competence. How can we call election without telling members what positions are available for contest? So let's send the email to Accra and let Accra understand that emails were sent out. People just want to be mischievous. And they want the email when they say, so why are they saying that you didn't inform them what positions are available for contest? So the problem we have that led to the postponement of our election, we were collectively responsible. But I won't blame general members. I'll blame the executive as a body, and me as the leader, I'll take the elephant or the lion's share. It's a learning curve. Next time, if it happens that way, I will stand by my grounds and say, look, we have done it correctly. Let's allow this to happen and things will move forward. Thank you very much. That's all what I can say. But I'm responsible. I'm not going to say I didn't contribute. I contributed, but we are collectively responsible as a team. Just like I'm claiming the credit for some of our success. So the failures comes, it's only fair for me to take the share of the blame as well. Because if you don't admit that you are wrong, that means you are not going to address it going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman Mbalba. I think we have to be careful of the time and I'm monitoring it. Let's keep our questions very, very simple so that we can get more out of Chairman. Okay. There is some comments which I would like to read on the page here. So from Charlotte, she said, Chairman, you have my full support. From Awudu Sani, well done, Chairman. I'm at work, but listening. From MFA Kumsin,
Mr. Boji, can you raise your voice up a bit, please? Raise your voice up a bit, please.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, louder.
Okay, so from Awudu Sani, he said, well done, Chairman. I am at work, but listening. From MFA Kumsin, she said, the NDC must move forward for the sole purpose of all Ghanaians, whether in the diaspora or within Ghana. The business of whom you know or having family members holding various positions should be a thing of the past and not for 2024. Bring in people qualified to move Ghana forward. You have my support, Chairman. So that's from MFA. As I said, let's keep our questions very, very short so that we can get more out of our Chairman. Tabby Wilberforce, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Comrade. All protocol duly observed. Chairman, in your submission, you keep referring back to Accra, and it seems that the influence of Accra on the chapter is overwhelming. But occasionally, Accra has been cajoled to backtrack on some of their directives and even succumbed to their individual bias as a directorate. So my question is, going forward, when retained, how would you ensure that we work with Accra coherently and that Accra does not seem to be interfering too much in the affairs of the chapter, making the chapter being positioned as not having that direct autonomy to manage its affairs? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And honestly, Dr. Wilberforce, it's an embarrassment to me and to the chapter, the way sometimes we get directive as if we are here and we can't think. But as I said, all boils down to some of the things members of this chapter call ACCRA to tell them. So going for, like Tofik said, as a diaspora leadership, we need to make a strong appeal to ACCRA that we should not be allowed individuals to call or group of individuals to call to make certain allegations. And interestingly, the kind of petition or letters we send to ACCRA, it will surprise you. Individual letters. So I think what we need to do, ACCRA should not entertain any letter. You have the right to complain, but as an NDC, as a party, you need to start the complaint at your local level. Because if some of these letters were coming through me, I'll say, let's address it here. And those people writing it would have known that what they are saying is not true. But sometimes I'll be sitting down, they will call and be talking about certain things that I don't even know. So we need to be clear, just like we can't even leave internal structures to go public to ask for certain things. If somebody is here and he's not happy, we have the disciplinary committee. Now Hima talk about Council of Elders. All those issues can be presented to them. If we fail to address it, we'll move to ACCRA for redress. That should be the last point of call. But small thing we call ACCRA. The chairman did this, the secretary did this. So they see us at kindergarten, excuse my language, we don't know what we are doing. So they are directing us to do certain things, which is causing problems for us. But we are all managers, professionals in our own right, making difficult decisions at our workplace. And we can run common NDC chapter in this country. It's an embarrassment. That's the honest truth. But we have to collectively work together. And we'll invite another thing I failed to mention, which Tavi's question reminded me. Induction of the executive is very important. What we have failed to do in the past, we elect this executive branch chapter, but sometimes certain people come in, they have never held any political position. That's not to say they shouldn't come in. There should be a starting point. So what we should be doing is to make sure that if new executives are elected, we'll get a delegation from ACCRA. We'll take the bill, if possible. They will come, spend 2-3 days, organize proper induction. This is the way the party is run. This is the structures. Maybe if they hear it from somebody from the head office, they will take it serious than even the chairman. And of course, we have our own experience executive in this chapter. They will be part of the induction team so that we can stop all these things front and backwards, everything we have to refer to ACCRA. So I'll take that on board to make sure that it will be thing of the past come 14th January 2023, if I'm retained, inshallah.
Thank you. Just a reminder again, iPhone, please, can you change your name before you get the platform to ask your question? Loans, iPhone, loans. Hello, loans. Okay, can we move to Victoria Amobile, please? Victoria.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah. My question goes to the chairman. Are you happy that some of our members are not allowed to stand for the positions that are coming up?
Look, my sister, thanks for this question. Look, I, sitting here, I'm not happy with certain things in the directives, honestly. And I'm saying this as a matter of principle. We are our own enemies. I left Ghana in 1999, and since then, all my membership of NDC has been in this country. Occasionally, I go to register of the electoral committee, but not with a local branch. So if today I want to contest any position in Ghana, be it parliamentary, be it a national executive, or even the flag bearership, I'll be using my membership from the UK. You understand? And then we are happy. ACCRA is saying don't import your membership from Ghana to contest position. And people are jumping, celebrating over it because they think that will favor them or it will favor them. If tomorrow that thing is applied across the board and they say, okay, now you can bring your membership from abroad to contest for what is going to be our fate? So me, I was against it on a matter of principle. Membership in NDC should be universal. And that is what we're made to believe. Why this? I don't know. But again, I've been accused left and right because I'm pushing certain individuals. If you come and say, I want to contest for this position, I'm not going to say don't contest. I'm not a vetting committee. Let's allow the committee to look at the rule. But me, as a matter of principle, it is not fair. That's my chapter. I don't mind how people look at it because we should be able to take our membership to contest for any position. And if we can do that, people should be allowed to bring their membership from other countries. That is my position on it. But of course, the power be, I say no to that. I'm just their agent here, and I'm going with that. You see, that is me. That is my position on it. Not that I have any interest in. And comrade, let's not forget the inconsistency is the being of our chapter. 4 years ago, the same directive came. If you have never had a position as a branch or whatever, you couldn't contest for chapter position. Some members, so some contestants, brought their membership or position they have held in Ghana, and they were allowed to contest. What has changed 4 years along the line? You see the problem we are creating for ourselves. So 4 years ago, we should have just remained and said, look, membership, NDC is one family. If you have your membership from Ghana especially, you should be allowed to contest, provided you can prove you have been loyal, a good standing member of your branch in Ghana before coming over. That is the only way we can get combined experience of people here and people from Ghana to run the chapter effectively. I'm not saying I'm effective because I have my own weakness. I didn't go details into my profile, but I started the political campaign activities in Ghana. In around 96, I was a serious campaign manager. So and I've dealt with some of these big men at that young age, knowing party secrets, things that you can say publicly. So I know certain things that you can say. But some of us, unfortunately or fortunately, started our political career in this country. So we only know the systems here. So if we have a combination of people from Ghana, and so for me, if I'm retained, I'm going to make it clear that membership or whatever eligibility should be over the board. If people can prove they are members in Ghana and they want to contest for position, they should be allowed to contest. That is my, but for this one, the directive is clear. I don't want to fight as an individual. We accepted it, and some of us are even supporting it. So fighting it, it will just put me in coalition with the powers be in Accra. I can only say if you want to file and you think the law is against whatever, or the file, the vetting committee will look at your nomination form and make a decision. It's not up to me as a chairman to determine who should contest for position. If I'm given that power, then I'll disqualify all the contestants and remain in office. And I was telling people it's not up to the chapter executive. We can't do that. And that is why they said vetting committee. Let's set up the vetting committee and they will determine who is eligible to contest using the NDC constitution, using the standing orders and the directive, whatever, to make their decision. So that is my position on it. That's my position on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mbalba. A message from Vida. She says, thank you so much, Chairman. You have my total support. I think the iPhone person is confirmed his name. So can we give the platform to Frederick Segbefia? Frederick.
Oh, dear, on camp, please. You know what I'm saying? Are you stupid?
Can you mute yourself, Abigail?
Hello.
Hello.
Good
Yes,
evening.
Good
Good evening. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom.
I'm going to confess a little, but I think the Northwest London people know already. I'm yet to register and do everything. obviously I cannot vote, but it doesn't mean I cannot say what I want to say. A lot of things, what I wanted to say, have been confirmed already today. And a lot of answers have been answered. But one of the things I wanted to say is exactly what has just happened. I just changed my phone 4 or 5 days ago. I have not been to work for 2 days. I don't have to tell you all that. But because I changed the phone, well, iPhone to iPhone, it came up at iPhone, and I was struggling to do it. So obviously, the man of the house, my son, came and did it for me. I'm not very technical in those things. I'm technical in other things. What I want to say is, a lot of things were answered, but I'll tell you a story because everybody from my name know an ex-chairman. What I want to say is that divided you fall, united we stand. Even at my workplace, same thing happened. So for me, we need to be united. If we are not united, we will fall. We criticize the MPP for blah, 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 blah. And if we are not careful, we are doing the same thing, which is wrong. But we need to put our differences away. Why am I saying this? I'm also not going to mention names. I went somewhere and I saw one of the old hierarchies, and I said, "How are you? I didn't see you at the meeting. Oh, we are not NDC anymore." I said, "Why? When they won, we didn't get anything." So my question is, are we joining a political party for our own selfish issues, or are we joining a political party because we love our motherland, Ghana? This is the question I want to ask you. But so far, you, Mr. Chairman, have transformed the NDC UK and Ireland. My brother did what he could do at the time that he was. I cannot go into details and whatnot because what people fail to understand, we are not NPP. My brother Derek, who's actually a registered NDC member, is still in this country. We didn't go because time and season is in the Bible. Sorry, I'm a born-again Christian. It's in the Bible. Yeah, time and season. If it's not your time, it's not your season, don't do it. But with MPP, they don't do that. When somebody go, and now today we see the crisis in the country. You said something that blessed me. It's for all Ghanaians, whether you are Islam, Christian, atheist, or whatnot. And I think we should stick by that. We should stick by the motto that we are Ghanaians. Look at Kwame Nkrumah trying to unite Ghana and Africa. But we'll have people who this thing. United we stand, divided we fall. That's all I want to say.
Very much.
God bless.
Thank you very much. But I'm not happy still you have not joined NDC.
No, I'm happy. I'm joining, but
the last I met you said you are going to pick it from.
Yes, but don't worry, we are working on it.
Thank you.
I've got the papers. I just have to send. Just that the papers came a bit late for me to do what I want to do.
Thank you very much, Frederick. I think, as I said, we should keep our questions very, very simple and short. Do you want to say something to that, Chairman?
Well, what I can say, yes, we are stronger together and weaker apart. Politics, students of politics will tell you it's all about disagreements, but we disagree to agree. And sometimes let's not see the disagreement as conflict. There was a time somebody said there's too much conflict, and I said, no, it's not conflict. We are just disagreeing with each other. So we can have our individual interests, but at the end of the day, let's try to always subordinate our individual political interests to the collective interests of NDC as a political party. Because if we are not united as a party, we can't present ourselves as the right alternative to the mess we have found ourselves in today. We need to be united, and the evidence is coming clearly after the National Delegate Congress that NDC matters, Ghana matters, so everybody's working together so that we can recapture power in 2024. So just to echo what my brother said, predict, unity is key to our success in politics, and we need to promote it at all costs, even at the expense of our personal interests. We need to do it. Thank you very much.
I have been checking time, and I will take 2 more questions.
Good.
And we end there. But I will read, before that, I'll read some few comments that we have got. From Eric again, he said, going forward from what had transpired this 4 years, International Relations Department and the FEC had been reducing the chapter executive to mere acephalous executives with no teeth to act due to entertaining disgruntled chapter executives who want their own parochial interests taken on board. There should be a constitutional clause to stop this. So that was from Eric. Francis Toto, he said, Chairman, 1, keep doing what you do best.
Thank you.
Eric again, a very good question. Are we in the party for what we can get? Is Ghana first? Question mark. Sabatu, he said, just pass through. Oh, Sabatu. I think he didn't put any comment or anything. He just said that. Can I go to Papa Kuku Ando, please? I want the questions to be straightforward, simple.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Chair, it's just a question, which is, isn't there a protocol when anybody have to call the headquarters to talk about something at all? Isn't there a protocol line to follow, or isn't there a code? Because I certainly represent organization in this country, and no one can just call the headquarters of the organization and ask question without verifying who this person is. And if it's not the right person to talk to, straight away they tell them, sorry, we cannot either accept, either you're a member or not a member, we cannot accept or give you any answers to what you are referring.
Thank
and
you.
I'm hoping, Chair, you can get this done so that ACCRA don't embarrass any chairman or any executive in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's something that I will work on if I'm retained, inshallah, because honestly, that is what I'm saying. Sometimes is people calling individuals. My line manager, Honorable Alex Sarkitv, and that's what I'm used to. I have people that I know before Alex, but I've never called anybody at the head office apart from Alex. You can say it when the current chairman was a general secretary, people will say call as our own call. Some will say organize our own call. If I have any issue, that is what I'm trained. I'll go straight to my line manager. But some people will go outside the right channels and speak to individuals, and they will tell them different kind of things. Even sometimes the director himself is not even aware. And they come and they are working with what somebody told them from the head office. That is the problem. That is the problem. It's now that I'm reflecting in the last couple of months, because I've just realized that the calls and the letters to ACCRA is just too much. So I have to do some research. And that is what I came to realize. So I think we need to make it clear. You send your letter without passing it through the chapter secretariat. They shouldn't even mind you. Nobody should speak to any individual and come back and tell us ACCRA said this. For me, if I say ACCRA, I'm referring to my line manager, which is Alex Secretary, because he's in charge of the Director for International Relations. So I don't go back passing. Let me tell you an interesting story. When I went for the Congress last time, somebody called me, oh, can I take you to John Mama's house? I said, if I want to go to John Mama's house, I'll call Alex. Alex can take me to his house. So I don't want to even bypass Alex and say I'm going to see your mama. How will he look at me? I said, no, leave that. If I want to go to your mama, I'll tell Honorable Alex to take me there, and he will facilitate that. So why should you call and tell me you are going to take me to go and see your mama? A number of occasions, even John came here. He called, he said something. I said, no, let me speak to my boss first. I won't do anything behind his back. I won't do it. And that is what I've been trained to do in this country. You respect your land manager. And some will say, oh, it's not land manager kind of business. We are all elected. That's another issue. I'm not saying I'm above any executive, but you can't have a ship without captain. That will be recipe for disaster. And we have what in politics we call paramus inter pares. In Latin word, which means equals amount equal. You are all the same, but somebody must lead the ship. And that's all what I've been asking my executive for the past 4. I'm not above you, but somebody must chair call meetings. And you have instances somebody will even tell you the chairman has no right to call a meeting. I can't believe this. So sometimes I just have to control myself, bring myself to just to allow certain things to pass. So I take that on board. I can fight, and I've realized relaxing things in terms of whatever goes to ACCRA is part of the issue that created that problem. So if I'm retained this time, I'll work on this seriously, and I'll make it clear. I'm not going to write. I will go to ACCRA and I'll tell them this is the problem. Let's stop it. Let's stop it.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure whether we've got more time, but I want to give Abigail the chance. Just a quick question, please. Abigail.
Yeah, hi, Eyezu. Oh, thanks so much for the opportunity given to me. Mine is not a question, but I just want to commend Chairman for honestly the wonderful job he's done so far. I came to the UK about 4 years ago. And then before I came here, I was a constituency executive in Akwitia constituency. So when I came, I tried to reach out to so many people, executive here, just to get me on board, at least just to be a member. But unfortunately, no one got to me. No one tried to get me involved. But I thank Chairman so much for, in fact, getting me involved, making me able to register as a member. So please, I'll urge everyone. And now I have the mandate to vote. So I am going to definitely vote for Chairman because he's done a very, very good job. And then I'll urge all those here as well who have votes or who are able to vote to also vote for Chairman so that we can make our party great in here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abigail, for that. For a comment from Charlotte, you are all we need, Chairman. From Frederick Segbefia, keep the existing Chairman. From David Dazi, let's all go and vote in our numbers for our Chairman, Mbalba. David Dazi again, tell a friend to tell a friend about the good works of our Chairman Mbalba. So those are the comments. At this point, can I please give the floor once again to our Chairman Hassan Mbalba, to give us a final word before we move on to the next stage, please.
Thank you very much for all your compliments and interrogative questions. I've learned a lot. But what inspires me, the commitment of every one of you to make sure that I'm retained so that together we can continue to move the chapter forward. My retention is not about personal self-aggrandizement. It's in the interest of our chapter, interest of our party, and the interest of Mother Ghana. If we have a strong chapter here, a united chapter, resilient chapter, we can contribute meaningfully to our political fortunes in Ghana. So I'm overwhelmed with emotions because I don't want to be seen as a failure. So all what people are asking me to do, I'll start thinking how we can work together from tonight. Because with your compliment, I've now been convinced, come 14th January 2003, you will come out boldly to vote for me so that I'll retain my position and will continue to move the chapter forward. Thank you very much for your compliment on this session. So I'll hand over to campaign manager and we'll move to the next stage of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Chairman Mbalba. Thank you for that. We go to the next one, which is vote of thanks. And can we please call upon Comrade Sister Adelaide Menu, the campaign advisor for the vote of thanks, please.
Respected guests of honor, all dignitaries on this platform, ladies and gentlemen, I feel honored to be given the opportunity to give this vote of thanks on behalf of the campaign team. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Almighty God for making today's program a success. I will also want to stand in on behalf of everyone and express our sincere gratitude to the chairman, Mr. Mbalba, for availing himself for another 4 years. Another big thanks go to the campaign team for their hard work, dedication so far. God bless you. Now, the last but not the least, I also want to thank everyone on behalf of Chairman Mbalba. I would like to thank fellow comrades and every other person who left their busy schedules to attend the lunch this evening. I pray our efforts is rewarded on the 14th of January 2023, which will see Chairman Mbalba retained. God bless NDC. God bless us all. Eyezu.
Eyeza. Eyezu. Thank you very much, everyone. And I think we've heard it all.
Charles Comrade across the globe.
Comrade Abwaji. Comrade Abwaji.
Yes, go on. Who is this?
You ignored my message to you. I'm not happy.
Okay.
we can talk after this, please.
No, but you have to read it out.
You know he's a chief.
The name is
Malik Ramani.
I can't see that. I think I have.
But we have closed the session, Chief Malik.
I should close it.
Oh no, I think it's up to Comrade Christian Bwaje.
I can't see your message actually.
It was sent to you directly.
Okay.
Directly. Oh,
yes.
I can't see that. Sorry, but if you can say it.
I sent it to Christian, but anyway, I was wishing the chairman all the best. Just to apologize that I got in late because I was caught up somewhere.
Okay, no worries. Chief Malik.
Thank you very much, Sabato. I think we've had it all. So please, let's go in our numbers. Come January 14th, 2023, to vote to retain Chairman Hassan Mbalba, to continue the good work that he is doing. So thank you very much, and thank you for attending this party lunch. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, all.
Well done.
Everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Hope to meet again. Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good. We are on time. Go, I can.
Yeah, remember. I have a meeting. Hello, Chairman.
Yes.
I'll call you, please. I'll call you. All right, all the best.
Okay, all right. Thank you, my brother.
All right, bye.
Oh,
Chairman, shirya huta lafiya eh.
Fine.
So mun gode, assalamu alaikum. Mu yi magana gobe, insha Allah.
Shirya Oli kenan gawo.
Ah, Oli. Ya dai. Ya wuri. So, ku yi kokari ku fight mu retain shi, amma dai ya tunci ya kare. Alhaji ka tunci ka kare. Allah taimaka. Okay, shiri. Oli. Sai an jima kenan ko?
Mai kira na ke jira.
Okay, shiri. Assalamu alaikum. So, sun ji.
Ayyaza.
Ayyazu.